Hi everyone, it's cummina here with another video for you, and today I'm bringing you my Predator's Mark build. So be sure just to watch the rest of the video on how I've got my build, what I set it up as, and at the end of the video I'll show you my build in action. For anyone that is new and not too sure what build that they want to go to, and they're not sure what Predator's Mark build is. So Predator's Mark, basically, the set two-piece bonus gives you a 10% reload speed. The third bonus then gives you 8% assault rifle damage and 8% SMG damage. Then the fourth talent here is when it does really kick in, hit 10 shots without switching target to make that target bleed for 50% of the damage already done by those bullets. Now this can come in really handy, especially if you're chasing rogues or you're chasing people, or if you're fighting rogues and you just want to get that bleed on them because it makes it so difficult, especially with the cooldown speeds now on your skills. That does come in really handy and help you. So we'll crack on with the video and I'll go through my each pieces for you. Okay, to start my build off, I use two weapons. I use the lightweight M4 and the MP7. So if we first of all start off with the lightweight M4, it does have 22% enemy armor damage. It has a base damage of 18k. It has 850 RPM, but on top of that, due to the mod, it has an extra 50, so it's running at 900 RPM, and it has a base magazine size of 30, but due to my mod on there for my magazine, it's got plus 33. The talents that I run with it is destructive, responsive, and adapt. So just looking at destructive, armor destruction value is increased by 15% when using this weapon. Responsive damage is increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters to the target, and adapt then using a skill increases your critical hit chance by 7.5% for 15 seconds. Now if we just have a look how I've modded this gun here, so if we look at the scope, I've got the VX1 scope times 12. Now this comes with 18% headshot damage, 3% critical hit chance, and then 4% critical hit damage. Looking at the magazine, it's got 113% magazine size, 4% critical hit damage, and then 5.9% rate of fire. The hand stop is the Coyote hand stop. It comes with 27% reload speed, 4% critical hit damage, and 2.5% stability. And then my Amiga rifle suppressor comes with 17% headshot damage, 4% critical hit damage, and then 3% critical hit chance. So I've tried to base my gun on trying to get as much critical hit chance or damage as I can. You know, assault rifles don't have that built into them like they do with the SMGs, but I've also tried to add that headshot damage as well for when I'm using it in PvP or PvE, just to try and eliminate those targets as quickly as possible. If we now go on to my MP7, the talents that I have on here is deadly, so critical hit damage is increased by 15%. I've then got responsive, so damage is increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters. And then just as the last talent there, I have brutal, so headshot damage is increased by 12% when using this weapon. Now the mods are slightly different when it comes to this gun. I'm trying to get as much critical hit chance and damage as I can on the gun. So I've got the red dot sight there. It's 18% critical hit damage, 6% headshot damage, and 2.5% critical hit chance. It has got 116.5% magazine size, 3% critical hit chance, and 5.10% rate of fire. My barrel then has got 17% critical hit damage, 5% reload speed, and 2.50% stability. And then I just got the Tyrant suppressor, which comes with 7.5% critical hit chance, 5.5% headshot damage, and 4% critical hit damage. Okay, so first of all, if we start off looking at my build here, you can see that I run with a full Predator piece with Savage gloves and a specialised backpack. If we start by looking at the chest piece here that I have got, it's rolled as onto stamina here, so I wanted to try and get a high stamina one as possible. It's got its major attributes of armor at 1239 and then 6146 as health, and then 55% ammo capacity. I do run two mods on here, so I've got my firearms mods there with armor, as you can both see. So they're a little bit low on the side, and especially the prototype firearms mod there, 209 on firearms, which is very low, and it is one that was used in the previous update. But the reason I've kept it is because it's just so high there on its armor value that it adds to the chest piece. Now, looking at the chest piece here, if you can get one with armor and health on it as your major attributes, that is definitely a great start there. And also you want to make sure that it gives you the ammo capacity as well. Moving on to the mask here, I have rolled the mask on firearms just to help get that firearms level up a little bit in terms of just helping with the damage output that you have, and it's just above the requirements that's needed for most of the talents that you have on the gun. Now I have got my mask on skill power, so it's got 8,917 skill power, and its minor attribute as 16% disorient resistance. Now the mod that I do have on here again is a firearms mod, so it's at 250 firearms, and it has got a base armor on there as well as 277. Moving on to the knee pads here. So my knee pads are rolled on health, so I was looking for the health ones there. So 1,258 on stamina. It has got major attributes then where I've rolled armor on there of 1,214, and then it's just minor attributes is disorient resistance, disrupt resistance, and blind death resistance. Looking at the mods as well that I have got on here is 231 firearms again, which is low, but as you can see there's 280 on armor, so it's really high on its armor. And because I do use the shock turret with this build, I have got a prototype performance mod there that does give 7% turret health. So just move on now to my specialized backpack. So it is rolled on stamina at 1132, and the specialized backpack adds 200% of your firearms and stamina and turns that into skill power. I have rolled armor on there as the major attribute at 942, and then its minor attribute is 48% ammo capacity. Again, I got a prototype's performance mod on there, which is 238 firearms, but it has got 280 in armor. I run then two prototype performance mods, both at 7.5% health, turret health and turret duration, just to help to keep that turret up a little bit longer and that little bit more difficult for them to destroy. If we move on to the Savage gloves that I use, I know that firearms is something that you want to have on your Savage gloves, but the reason that I rolled mine on stamina is because when I've been testing this build and in terms of PvP, and you'll see at the end of the video, it is still pretty strong and it does get rid of people very quickly. So I just wanted to try and get that toughness up a little bit more. Now these gloves are more rolled towards the SMG. Now the assault rifle I will use as I'm running into battle, and the more that it gets up in your face I switch over to my SMG, just because I feel it's a lot easier to control, and with those talents that you're using it does help you a lot. So I've got 953 SMG damage, 5.5% critical hit chance, and then unfortunately there is 8% damage to elites on there. But I am looking for those better gloves to roll, but I would definitely have a play around with your builds, and if firearms is something that you do want to go towards, then that's fine. If you don't and you want to roll it on stamina, then that's fine as well, but just also think about how your build and how your play style is in terms of your gaming. Last up on the list now is the Predator's Mark holster. Now this is not a bad holster here. It's got 1257 on firearms, 1186 on stamina, and 11114 on electronics. I have rolled the major attribute on here as armor, so it's got 664 armor as well, just to help. And then if you just have a look down here, the prototype performance mod that I have added just gives me 3.5% turret damage. Now that can be changed up again for turret health or turret duration, because I think that the turret damage would be more suited to use against the flame turret than it would be for the shock turret. So if we go on now first and have a look at my assault rifle in terms of the attributes that I do use, the weapon damage is 18050, my critical hit chance is 11.50%, but do remember I have got adapt on there as well, so it does increase it once I use a skill. Critical hit damage at 41% and headshot damage at 110%. If we look at the survivability of the build, then my toughness, as you can see, is 449960. My max health is 206 1,516 in terms of its health. I've got an armor mitigation on here at 54.10%, and my health regeneration is 10,326. Okay, so moving on to my MP7, you can see that the weapon damage is still slightly lower at 16,140. It has got a critical hit chance of 18.5% and critical hit damage then of 109%. Headshot damage is at 74%, and it's got 2% stability on there, and reload speed is 2 seconds, but I do have the reload speed bonus. Also as well down here then you can see that I've got the SMG damage bonus at 953, and also the SMG percentage damage bonus is at 8%. And like I said, I'll use this more when it's close quarter battles, and you'll see that in the video towards the end where I've been fighting, and you'll see that I switch over on my weapons. Now I really do hope that you've used this video, and I'm not claiming it to be the best Predators build out there, but it is sure great fun one to use. And if you are thinking of switching over to Predator or looking something different outside the current meta, which is the Alpha Bridge build, then I would recommend Predator, and you could use this as your base guide to what you would want to look for to help with your build. But anyway, like I said, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Now I'll show you some of this in action now, and I'll see you all soon, agents. Take care.
Yes.